Hello, everybody. How's it going? Oh, good gracious. Okay, let me double check something really fast. I didn't double check it earlier. Just want to make sure that everything is good. Yes. Okay, so everything should be. Listen, I should be at the volume, the most volume, right? I should be. You should be receiving adequate volume. Okay, great. This is an issue sometimes where you guys are like, oh my God, the ad is so loud and you're so quiet. And I figured out what the problem was, but it is something that I have to check on every single time. Okay, hello, Transcat Dad. What's up? We got Viren, we got Gayfish, there's Mephi. Hello. Getting ready for takeoff with those wings. Yeah, I am. So all of my makeup brushes are dirty. I need to wash them with antibacterial soap. And so because of that, I am. And like, I think I understand the basic idea of what I'm supposed to do with shadow. And it's all like, it's like more soft, you know, it's a little bit more forgiving in the flexibility of it. Whereas like, I don't have a lot of practice. Okay, learning how to use one of these. This is liquid eyeliner. And it is a little bit finicky. I learned some things today. Like, I think the primary thing that I learned is that the tip dries out a little bit. So you need like a wet paper towel nearby just to kind of like, you just wipe it a little bit. You can see the evidence of me trying to get it to work on my hand earlier, which I haphazardly tried to wash off, but not really. Yeah, to use one of these, if you are a person who wants to use one of these, first of all, you shake it a bunch, but then, yeah, just keep like a warm, ideally like a warm wet paper towel, but a wet paper towel nearby, and just, if it stops working, then just wipe it off a little bit, and then it'll flow again. So little things like that. And then, yeah, I'm trying to figure out my particular eye shape and like how visible is the eyeliner and everything, because I have pretty heavily hooded eyes. Anyway, hello, people in the YouTube chat as well. Listen, I really appreciate it. So, interestingly, hi, Kitty Tick. I have been doing the Transatlantic call-in show for The Line for a while, but mostly I don't get out onto the other shows. Now that I am both hosting and producing other shows, the crossover is starting to really happen. Like, I think that I'm starting to really see a subscriber benefit for me on my personal channel from being part of The Line. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I've like Quantum Chaos, Guzman Jones from The Line chat. Hello as well to Jane and Dally. I don't know if you guys are from The Line chat, but that's okay. Yeah, hi everybody. Ooh, I'm glad you survived the Gong show yesterday. Yeah, we had a big marathon show. It, as Arden put it in our text messages, God did not want that show to happen. We did our SSA fundraiser a week ago. We reached our goal of $50,000 raised for the Secular Student Alliance. And so we had a scheduled long day stream with Forrest, Valkai, and Erica Gutzik Gibbon. And yeah, I think that the idea was that we wanted it to go for 12 hours, but I was going to take the first 6 hours of producing, you know, making the show work on the back end of the show. And then we were supposed to switch over to our other producer, Luthien, but the internet absolutely shat itself for Luthien at that time. Like about like an hour and a half before we were supposed to make this trade-off. Apparently there was a big storm or something. My power went off at one point during the stream because we had like a big old wind thing, like a wind storm come through the whole valley. So that was pretty crazy. Power flickered, but didn't stay off. So I was able to get back on and continue. But so Arden ended up she had something that she did earlier in the day and she wasn't planning to be available. So she ended up getting home on time to take over the show. But she was tired. And by the end of the show, she had a migraine. So she cut it off at the 10-hour mark. So yeah, unfortunately, it was a little bit shorter than expected, but still, that's a 10-hour stream is a record because Forrest and Erica have previously done like an 8.5-hour stream. So yeah, we're setting new records. We're hitting new heights. And I kind of think that that format works pretty well for them because they like to take calls for an hour or more. So I'm like, okay, if you do a 10-hour stream, that's like probably only 13 calls. It's pretty funny, actually. Um, is that one of the NYX liquid brush pens? This is a Wet n Wild. I got it from Walmart. Wet n Wild. Breakup proof, skinny waterproof liquid eyeliner. The only option I had was ultra black. I kind of wanted to get more like a charcoal. But yeah, there were a few very long calls. Bro, there was a TERF who called in, a gender critical TERF man who called in from the UK, and they talked to him for an hour. And listen, recently there's been a couple times where I've interjected what I feel is too much as the producer, because I have my little, hold on, oh my god, this is attached to so many things. I have my little producer microphone, and I go up top and I press this button and I go, excuse me, fuck you, that was wrong, or whatever. And sometimes I feel like I do it a little bit too much. And so I was trying not to do it as much. And I also was like, I'm just here to produce. Like, I don't want to stress out about like, when's the perfect moment for me to jump in. But I did end up jumping in because I couldn't deal with Rob anymore. It was dreadful. It was a dreadful thing to have to sit there through. Hated it. There are some calls where I'm like, oh, I don't need to pay any attention to this. Like, I have nothing to say. They're talking about biology or some bullshit. Like, I don't know. Or some of the religious calls, I'm like, yeah, I can just kind of, I don't really need to listen to what's happening here. Storms here in Texas as well, with inches of rain widespread across 2 days. Yeah, Luthien is in Texas, so that was the storms. Yeah, lots of internet service providers just kind of went, and they were like, oh, you know what, we can jump on and like take over, we'll kind of take care of it. Right after my power outage, they were like, do you need to have us take over? And I was like, well, the storms don't really seem to last a very long time here. Like, genuinely. I know people will say in Kansas and Missouri that like, oh, just wait 10 minutes and the weather will change. It's not the same. Like, in Kansas, you might have like a tornado warning that lasts for several hours, But here, it just kind of blows through pretty quickly. So, like, yeah, it might be, there might be a lot of damage that could be incurred in a short period of time. But, like, it's mostly fine. So, yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty windy. And the wind, like, shook my power out for a second. And then it was still windy after that, but not nearly as bad. But yeah, God didn't want that stream to happen. God really tried to strike us down. Eye makeup is the only makeup I'm generally good at because it's what I do for work 5 days a week. I have no interest in doing a full face. I think I've talked about this before. I am interested in incorporating like a lip into it. And I'm mostly just hoping that my use of retinol is going to smooth over my face to make it like smooth skin, less blotchy, blah, blah, blah. So that I can get away with not wearing foundation. I see we have some recognition in the YouTube chat who are saying, fuck Rob, that idiot. Yeah, Rob, the TERF from UK. Lots of rainfall here in Louisiana. Yeah, it's that time of year. It seems as though it's, like storms. I'm on tretinoin. Retinoids are great. Yeah, I'm just doing the like La Roche-Posay over-the-counter stuff. I mean, I only just started it this past month or two. I'm not even at a point where I'm like genuinely doing it every day, although I have worked up to the point where I'm like, I could be doing it every day. I gotta figure out, sorry, we're gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent here. Oh my god, me too. I love being gay about skincare. It's a new thing that I've learned about. So I've been using retinol, and I think I am getting it too close to my eyes, or maybe I'm just stressed out and my eczema is breaking out like it always does anyway, but I feel like the skin around my eyes is like super duper sensitive right now. What is eye cream? Is that a other separate product that I need on top of I have a face wash. Well, I use hydrochlor on my eyes. So I have hydrochlor for my eyes. I have a face wash. I have a full face lotion, and sometimes I use a retinol before I use the lotion. So I have like four dedicated. Oh well, and I have like a really expensive SPF that I don't actually use that often. I'm not like outside in the sun for long periods of time, but I did spend like $30 to $40 on a high quality sunscreen. So I have like five dedicated face products. Do I need to now get like eye cream? Because my face wash says not to use it around the eyes. I do use my lotion around the eyes, but I think part of what is happening is like I am lotioning my whole face and then also lotioning my eyes after using retinol. So I'm not putting retinol directly on my eyes, but it's getting there anyway. It's just marketing. If your eyes are irritated, just use a petroleum jelly product at night. Petroleum jelly product. Cool. All right. I've also been using Aquaphor for my lips. I probably should. I think that they sell a tube. A tube of like chapstick that's Aquaphor. I need that. Quantum says here in southern Ontario, this thing happens where you can literally see a mile-wide storm roll across the region with sunny skies on both sides of it, but just torrentially downpours for 90 seconds and then nothing. We call them squall lines. I don't know if that's the actual name for them. That's local. Okay, cool. That's nice. Yeah. It looked similar to that on the radar. I looked at the radar and it was, yeah, just like this big strip of storm that just kind of went like whoosh across the entire, like I think it was all the way up to like Seattle and then all the way down into like probably south of Eugene. I don't actually know. I think the weather south of Eugene is a little different because there's different topography. I don't know. You'll need to build up with retinol. I know. When I said earlier that I'm at the point with the retinol where I could be using it every day, what I mean is I followed that goofy thing that was like start by using it once a week and then do it twice a week for 2 weeks and then do it 3 times a week for 3 weeks. That's basically what I did. But I think, yeah, I think mostly like maybe the skin around my eyes is just way too sensitive and I need to be more careful to avoid that part of my face with the retinol. I'm an Aquaphor believer. Yes. I work in dermatology clinic now. I'm all about this. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Um so anyway, let's get off. We don't have to stay on skincare. I am just I don't know. This is how I'm coping, I think, is by, having little dumb fucking hobbies that absolutely don't matter at all. It's genuinely just for my own happiness. Like I've been doing streaming for like a couple years now, and I mostly have not really cared a lot about my appearance. And so it's like, why do I care now? Like, I don't know, maybe because I'm on the line, maybe because I'm on more shows with the line, probably. But I just like, I care about my appearance more. And also, I think that I'm probably making more money the more I lean into looking femme. So that's just a guess. I don't really, we haven't had enough time to see it bear out, but it does kind of feel that way. The hardest part about any self-care is building a habit. IMO. Yeah, I know I've talked about this recently, and I'm just realizing that I'm stuck in this place in numerous different parts of my life. That whole like, the more you avoid doing something, the more you increase the feeling like you want to avoid it in the future. I'm just like stuck with that with a lot of things, which I think means like I'm fucking depressed maybe. Like I don't really know. So yeah, we're just like trying to appreciate some of the basics. Shakespeare also says, I recommend Aquaphor as part of wound management as a former EMT. It's a good product for a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, basically, like, wet healing is a lot better than dry healing, effectively. And this is the case with tattoos. This is the case with scar reduction. Like, if you can keep a wound moisturized, like, obviously it does need to breathe. Like, you need to give it a period of time of the day where it gets a little bit of oxygen and like clean your dressings on a regular basis and everything. But if you have a wound, like, and you don't want it to scar, and I think tattoos heal better this way as well, if you keep like the wet film over it. So yeah, Aquaphor could be a big part of that. My tattooist said he only uses Aquaphor for the first couple of days on a new tattoo, and then he switches to like a, sensitive skin lotion, which kind of makes sense to me. But I guess if I was continuing to use Aquaphor, you should just like keep it covered on top of that. Mephi says, happiness is a form of resistance, IMO. It sounds quaint, but I really do believe there's no resistance to fascism without joy. Yeah, I kind of am subscribed to that worldview of like, what is the point of fighting against fascism if we don't have like a life worth living? And I don't think it's right to place that in the future, to place a life worth living like just out of reach with the gigantic barrier of defeating fascism in between you and being happy and being content, or like allowing yourself to have certain types of relationships or certain types of comforts or something. So yeah, you have to have a life worth living now in order to effectively, you need to have a clear picture of what life is going to look like after you achieve the great goal. And like, this is, I think, something that resonates in a lot of our storytelling. Like thinking of Frodo, for example, of like, he was not able to imagine what life could be like after, and had a hard time adjusting to life after the war, or etc. So like after, any event or trauma or anything, or like, yeah, any overwhelming odds, you have to kind of have a picture of what life is going to look like after, if you don't want to feel like super directionless. And like, yeah, you have to be able to live in the society that you create afterward. Nice eyeliner. Thank you. Hello, Fen. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think this is it. I think that this is very much still not it for me on eyeliner. I don't think this is like, hold on, I can't, this is so small for me on my screen. Come over. Whoa, don't do that. Come over here and be bigger so that I can see it. Okay, so I definitely don't think this is the look for me. Also, I don't know, I guess they ended up being pretty similar. I felt like this one was way different than this one earlier, but I kind of fixed them up a little bit. Like, okay, so this is what I've done, is like a little disconnected wing thing, because when my eyes are open, you can't fucking see anything on my eyelids. That's just to illustrate for you the point. Like, you can see the black line when my eyes are open. You're like, oh, there's a black line right there. It kind of goes over the top right here. Well, boom, there's nothing underneath there at all. So, yeah, any eyeliner look I do has to be way more dramatic than I might actually like for it to be, because otherwise you just can't fucking see it. It's just non-existent. So I haven't quite figured out like what's the correct angle yet, or like how high up on my face it should go. And obviously this is just eyeliner, mascara, and fill-in my brow. So there's like no eyeshadow or anything to... So I could do like a more minimalist liner, I guess more like way out here, and have the inside of this all be like eyeshadow. Of course, I'm kind of doing an either or situation right now. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like eyeliner is the one thing that I'm going to struggle with forever, but you kind of need it. I've done recently a few times, I've done looks where I just do eyeshadow. And clearly it's missing something. Well, I've done like eyeshadow, mascara, fill in the brow, but it's like clearly missing some amount of like definition that it needs. And I'm trying to figure it out. It's just a trial and error. It's a practice thing. You got to practice a bunch. Okay, you can go back over there now. I don't need you over here anymore. Emily says, your website was glitching out with a watch on YouTube error, and I was trying to troubleshoot with clearing cache and cookies, which failed. Oh, boy. Well, I'm not sure what the deal is. It seems like it's not a site-wide problem, so I'm not sure what that could be. I've gotten in the habit of doing big, fat wings every day for my eyeliner. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is, like, basically I have to do something big, fat, lots of coverage of my actual lid in order to see it. But I don't know, maybe I could do like a really tiny like connecting line way on the corner and then like mostly bring it up and over and not put it way the fuck down here on my eyelid. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to say that it's reasonable to not be able to handle turfs. Yeah, I was just like, wow, this is annoying. I think I want to, at some point, I'm going to try to get Forrest to do like a let's take, I don't know, like maybe let's take only trans related calls, Forrest and I, not like on a Takis, obviously. It would be like a Friday show because I want to float that to him. I think there are some people. Do you guys ever feel, do you have that feeling, the thing that happens where you're like, oh, I just reflexively really like this person a whole bunch? And you're like, I don't really know what it is exactly, but I would be your best friend if you let me. And I kind of have that energy with Forrest where like like one of the first interactions that I like cherish between us, because like, you know, the first couple interactions we have are like me desperately learning how to produce and like feeling overwhelmed and like having technical issues and stuff. So once you start to like get into the flow and you can just talk to people and like, hey, it's the beginning of the show, how's it going? You know, we're 15 minutes before the show starts, what is up? He came in and was like and I unmuted myself and went like it was magical. I met someone like that recently. Yeah. Literally no shade at petroleum jelly, but if you want to be more eco-friendly and also use a product your body can use a little better, try using lanolin. In the hopeful future, products like petroleum jelly won't exist because we'll stop using oil. Again, no shade at Aquaphor. I thought that Aquaphor was effective because of lanolin. Yeah, it's well, I guess it says lanolin alcohol is an inactive ingredient, but okay, yeah, I guess it has a lot of petroleum in it. But yeah, I've seen part of what people told me, like why I should use Aquaphor for my lips specifically, is because of the lanolin. It has mineral oil as well. It says do not use on deep or puncture wounds, animal bites, or serious burns. Fun. Oh no. Sterling says, because I wear glasses, I have to go by feel when I'm putting on my makeup. Then I put my glasses on, and then I have to try to like squeeze behind the glasses to fix the squiggly lines. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is a problem. I don't know. My vision isn't terrible yet, but these glasses are for helping me see up close. So I imagine maybe this is going to be a problem someday where, but I also have one of those mirrors that has like a magnifier on the other side. So maybe that will balance things out a little bit. Forrest seems hard not to have that reaction to, really. Yeah, it's true. He's just a very affable gentleman. And like, I love that Forrest and Erica both have a bunch of skulls in their background. It makes me feel at home because if I could decorate with more skulls, this one is a bobcat skull. And if I could have more different kinds of skulls all over, I definitely would do that. Several of you agree. Yeah, we have like several friends who are like, I just reflexively like you. I also feel that way with Alyssa. I don't know, something about Alyssa, I'm just like, you're cool. I like you. It's pretty great. I'm not saying that I dislike anybody else that I work with, but that yeah, there's been a couple times I'm just like, oh yeah, you're cool. I want to be your friend. Like this is clearly gonna go just fine. Mm. I am having such a great time with this tea today. Although I am realizing that I think I like the second brew of tea better. I told you guys this on Attackus not too long ago, but tea leaves, particularly like loose leaf tea. If you buy expensive tea, here's a hot tip for you. If you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to drink my tea, you can brew it more than once with the same leaves. So I've been doing that with my more expensive teas. I've been doing it at least twice, and I think I like the second time better. I don't know about the third time. I need to start regularly doing the third time. But so if you have like, if you brew your tea and you have the tea leaves, put it in your fridge, and then you can do it again later or tomorrow or something. Excuse me. Playing Hades 2, and there was even more gay sex in it than I thought. Yay. I still haven't finished Hades 1. I feel like I shouldn't play Hades 2 unless I finish Hades 1. I want to be clear. I have gotten to the final boss, and I have gotten what feels like pretty close to beating the final boss. But you get close to beating the final boss and then lose, and you have to start the whole game over. So I don't play it very much. I feel like that's very punishing, but hey, that is what roguelites are. That is their whole thing. And I respect that. I feel like no amount of rage a caller could try to instill will match the great patience Forrest will have built up from being a teacher. I think Forrest is kind of like me. Like, when he loses his patience, he doesn't seem as mean as he probably feels like he's being. I feel sometimes like, oh, I was really mean to that caller, but you all don't seem to share that view. Like, when I'm looking at the chat, or if I were to watch it back later, like, maybe it doesn't even to me seem like it was like, oh, I feel more angry than I look. I've been playing Hollow Knight, not the sequel, just the first one, because I purchased it at some point. It's been in my library. I don't know when I bought it, but I hadn't played Hollow Knight because of its reputation as quite a difficult game. But I was talking to my partner recently. He was like, didn't you really like a Metroid game from when you were younger? Like, was it Metroid Fusion? And I was like, bet. I fucking loved Metroid Fusion. I played that game more than once. Like, I would play it from the beginning, I think, a couple of different times. And he was like, so why haven't you played Hollow Knight? I'm like, it has a reputation for being difficult. And he was like, well, that's just because it's a Metroidvania. But if you like Metroid games, and he was like, didn't you also play Ori and the Blind Forest? And I was like, yeah, bet. I love that game. And he was like, okay, well, it's the same game type as Hollow Knight. And I was like, oh, okay. So I've decided to play Hollow Knight, and it has been a lot of fun. I know that this is not like a gaming crowd for the most part, but, and I'm not going to pull it up and play or anything, but yeah, it is challenging. I usually play, I've been playing it for about a half an hour at a time, and then I die in a way that feels bad. I know you can go back and get your stuff, but sometimes I'm like, I die in a way that feels bad, and then I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and close the game. And then a little while later, I'm like, I'm going to go back and play more. So I've gotten about 3 hours of it over the past couple of days through that cycle of hopping on, playing for a little bit, dying in some way that feels terrible, and then rinse and repeat, you know, quit for another 30 minutes, come back to it. Apparently Andrew from New Jersey has gotten Forrest frustrated. Well, if anybody was going to do it, that would be the person. That makes perfect sense to me. I could definitely watch you stream playing games. I have done it before. It's just like, it always gets fewer viewers. Even if I feel like I'm still talking the same amount, and I'm like, even if I'm able to talk about something that's not the game, which that's the trick, I think, is it can't be a game that I need to talk about the game or I feel the need to explain anything. You have to just play the game and talk about whatever else, other thing that you're doing. And yeah, people just consistently do not stick around during those. What's up, Hella? How's it going? It has been a minute. What's up? Metroid Fusion is so good. It's so good! Hollow Knight is very good, but we'll also test how long you're okay with a Metroidvania being. Ooh, like it's a long game? Okay. But I feel like it's perfect in how challenging, like Metroidvanias, they are challenging, but it just takes like, you have to learn the pattern. So it's a game where you do necessarily have to like fail, like you discover through failure. And I do feel like it's less punishing than a roguelike or roguelite. I think rogues are, yeah, they're just a little bit too punishing. Like there when you die in Hollow Knight, it does feel bad, but knowing that you don't get set back that far, that you can plan strategically, if you go slightly off of your intended path, you can hit that bench, and therefore when you die, you will not have to travel as far. um and the fact that you can get all of your coins back and everything. So, yeah, I it's just challenging enough where you're like, you feel like you are the problem and not the game is. Okay, so I think that this is a big deal with game design. I like talking about structural things regarding video games and movies and media. Like, so this is perfect for me. I like having these kind of conversations. What makes a good video game, right? It's an interactive medium. Congratulations, Hella. Started a Kickstarter for my indie books. Yeah, absolutely. Good luck. Ooh, being an author is tough in this day and age, but self-publishing is definitely an option. So I think part of one of the critical things about, and there are so many ways to accomplish this goal, but putting the difficulty level at a game, making you feel like you just need to do slightly better and you will be able to succeed. And I think a Metroidvania, a well-calibrated Metroidvania like Hollow Knight, like Ori and the Blind Forest, is like you do get frustrated and you fail a little bit, and maybe you're even like, I'm gonna rage quit, or you feel like I need to look up how to do this. And then, so this happened to me a bunch during Ori and the Blind Forest. I would be like, I don't know how I'm supposed to get through this series of obstacles. And it would be stuff like, oh, you have to bounce off of stuff in the air. And so you had to hit this kind of precise timing or whatever. And I would Google it and be like, I did figure out what I'm supposed to do. I am doing the thing I'm supposed to do. I just have to do it right. Like, I just have to get the timing right. And then you would get it. And so after, like, 5 minutes of concentrated frustration on like this one obstacle that you're trying to get over, then you get it. And then like the sense of accomplishment. And it was such an interesting relationship that I had with Ori and the Blind Forest because it made me so angry. It was really like the first time as an adult that I've sat and played like a fairly difficult Metroidvania. And yeah, I was like so angry and I was like, I hate this game. It's so stupid. And then I would succeed over the obstacle and I was like, oh, I like that feeling and I'm going to move on to the next obstacle. So something about that particular, I think it's something that Metroidvanias are good at in general, but of course there is such a thing as like a good platformer or a bad platformer. So yeah, I think what makes a good video game in general, and specifically my enjoyment of these particular games, is that feeling of like, I know what I'm supposed to do. The game has laid it out for me. It's just about precision in timing or like strategy or, like being able to recognize that the enemy is about to do this move or, and I think it's little subtle things a lot of the time. Like I was fighting Hornet last night, and I think there were a couple times where she did something that I wasn't exactly expecting her to do, but because I knew that she could do that, I was like, oh, I'm just able to get away from her because I'm used to having to get away from her regardless. So it's like follows some kind of pattern where you either recognize what move the person is about to do or you can use their strategy. The thing that I have found in Hollow Knight especially is that it actually is better for you to play more aggressively. Like I find that the more I'm focusing my play on like dodging, which usually is how like you start an interaction with a brand new enemy. You're like, oh my God, I have no fucking clue what you're about to do. And the damage system is pretty good, but during a boss fight, it's kind of hard to get a heal in. So, and you only have so many of those. So, but, so at first, I think my impulse is to play kind of defensively and like to try to dodge, and you're like learning the attack patterns and stuff. But then once I kind of understand what the enemy is doing, the play is it like favors. Hey, stop it. Hey, quit it with the claws. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. uh, um, especially when I was fighting Hornet, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like, now that I understand her moves, I'm just gonna like get in there and pop, pop, pop. Like, I don't know, something, you start playing more aggressively and you get rewarded for that rather than like playing defensively, in my experience. Do you have similar feelings on bullet hell games? Okay, so I have not really played very many bullet hells. I have a really hard time keeping track when there's a lot of shit moving on the screen. So like I can't play Super Smash Bros. Like Brawl. Like I cannot play those games because there's too much fucking shit happening and I can't keep track of my character. I haven't done it in a long time. I would be willing to try again, but I just don't fucking know what to do. So I do think that with bullet hells, I did play Undertale. It's been a decade, literally almost a decade since I played Undertale, which is a bullet hell. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I like them as much. What is Mitternacht doing? Well, okay, so I have a soft pad for me to stand on because this is a standing desk. I prefer to stand while I am streaming. I was standing while I was producing yesterday too, and I told Forrest in the back end, like, there's a non-zero chance that I'm dancing anytime, anytime on the stream. I could be dancing. I don't do that as much when I'm on camera because it's a little bit awkward. But anyway, I have a standing desk and I have a squishy thingy, and he loves to come over here and sharpen his claws on my squishy pad, and I do not like it. I don't like it. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was just telling everybody, like, I don't think that I've quite mastered the eyeliner. I don't think I've quite figured it out, but I am in progress. You know, we got to practice and learn. I did take a picture of myself like this recently, and I was like using my stylus on my phone to like draw on it. I think I need to just go back to that kind of drawing board, and like I think that I just need to do more dramatic looks than I have the impulse to do something more minimalist. But Guzman says, it sounds like you're describing, I got better at the game. I love that feeling. Learning the timing on bosses, where to go and be for great damage. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that like, oh, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess it's like, yeah, you just, it's not really, yeah. It's like, is that what qualifies getting better at the game? I feel like I'm pretty good at Metroidvanias, and it's just like experiencing each new enemy and needing to learn the strategy. So I guess I feel like learning the strategy for how to play a game well is like a separate kind of thing to being able to play the game well, which I struggle with both of those things differently, I guess. Anyway, thank you, Untitled V2. This version for your 10 Canadian dollars says hashtag team hashtag Ben10. Thank you. I love, yeah, somebody coming on my stream and voting for someone else in my super chats. That's very funny. Thank you very much. I appreciate the dono. I did just lose the game. That's true. I did just lose the game. It's been I don't know how long it's been since I lost the game. We are doing treasure chest today. We've got something in the treasure chest just over there. Boom. And we are 10% closer to getting there. Hell yes. Thank you very much. That's our first donation of the day. Thank you very much. Hell yeah. I appreciate, like, everybody was donating hardcore to the SSA fundraiser, and I've got like a decent amount of crossovers. So I'm like, thank you so much for donating here. I'm sure you already gave a lot to the SSA. I appreciate it. Transcat Dad says, roguelikes do make me feel like I'm making progress, like practicing the same song over and over on piano. The problem, okay, so agreed. Okay, so I understand what you're saying. Eterna Noctis is probably the longest Metroidvania I've played. Okay, cool. Um, oh, that's another thing. Okay, I'll answer Trans Cat Dad in a second. Trans Cat Girl. We've got Trans Cat Dad and Trans Cat Girl in the chat. Best friends for life. That thing that feels really nice about Metroidvanias is that if something is giving me a really hard time, I can just go somewhere else and still get better at the game. That's another thing too. If you're like, I'm like, oh, I just got my ass handed to me by this enemy and I kind of don't want to be here, I'll just go somewhere else and explore something. Yeah, so that's another good thing. But yes, so the thing about practicing the same song over and over on piano is that so with a roguelike, if I'm playing, and so I literally have had this issue with playing piano. So I want you to know that I physically understand the metaphor, having done it personally. The issue that I run into is like with a roguelike, you have to start at the top of the sheet music every time. And if you're struggling with something on like the third or fourth bar, if you fail at it, which like on the piano, like if you hit a sour note, or if you hit let's say you hit like 3 sour notes, and that's the equivalent of like taking all your damage and killing you, quote unquote, as it would be in the roguelike. So then it sends you back to the top of the page. Well, I need to sit there and work out line 4. And if you can't do that, then you're going to get really, really good at playing lines 1 through 3. And then you're going to probably continue to stumble in a similar way on line 4. Like it just takes so much longer to get to the thing that you need to practice getting better at. Yeah, so I struggle. Minimal eyeliner wings always make me look sad. Yeah, and I'm actually considering learning how to contour a tiny, tiny bit and like try to like bring up the angles of my literal face right here to kind of counteract how droopy my eyes look. Because yeah, I do think I need more of something going on like on the visible part of my lid. It needs to be like up higher, and maybe even do a full eye look. I feel like I'm so scared to do eyeliner on the lower part of my eyes because I'm like, that's going to make my eyes droop. I don't know. Do you think viewers are more likely to keep watching when your presentation is more femme? I suspect that's the case. I mean, so I think that attractiveness is rewarded, and I think that I am attractive in femme. So, and I also like being femme. So it kind of works. And like I don't really care that people think I'm a trans woman. So like when people are mean, they're mean in a way that cannot possibly hurt my feelings. They're like, you'll never be a woman. And I'm like, LOL. Like, yeah. So it's kind of nice. I like feeling cute. I really struggled feeling attractive when I was trying to look masculine, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really think I ever pulled it off successfully. Like it just never I don't even think like the longest I was on hormones, I don't think it ever really started to look good for me to look masculine. So, we're doing what works with our facial structure. Now the website works. Okay, good. Okay, great. I'm glad the website is working now. Not being a woman is the point. Yeah. But it's like, people think I'm a trans woman, so they attack me by being like, you're a man. And I'm like, that's really cruel, but like, it has nothing to do with me also. Interestingly, people perceive me as a trans woman more than they perceive me as a cis woman, which I think I think that that's important to me. Like, if people think I'm a cis woman, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I think that I prefer them to think that I'm a trans woman because they at least know that I am trans. I don't know how to describe that, but I rarely get like straight up misogyny. Like in my comments, I rarely get, if I were to look, and to be fair, I have deleted and blocked a lot of people from the comments section of my YouTube channel over the years. For a while, I was doing it pretty indiscriminately. And now that I'm posting stuff from the line, I'm kind of not sure if I should leave some of those up. So sometimes I leave them up and I say, you should call us on the line, blah, 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 blah. Um, but yeah, in my comments, and maybe it's because, yeah, I'm always talking about trans and usually from a first person perspective about my own experience or something or my own expertise, but I just don't really get a lot of straight up misogyny. It's all like, it's basically mostly like trans misogyny. Transphobes trying to hurt you, but they can't even figure out what's going on. It's just fun to laugh at. Like, clocked, but you don't know what time it is. Yeah. Ooh, Mephi says, I did a pretty sick 3-horned eyeliner for Ren Fair yesterday with black smoky outlines and sharp red inside. That makeup got kind of scuffed by the time I was home to take selfies and videos, but still cool IMO. I was so sad taking it off. Oh, yeah. It's the temporariness of art, right? My partner does shit like this on purpose a lot, and it's given me a little bit better of an appreciation. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm sorry. The hiccups is just like I got a hiccup attack. My partner does origami and stuff, so sometimes he'll make an origami thing and then just like crush it or whatever. So he's big on this like temporary art, but makeup is definitely like that, where you do your thing and it can only last the one day. You don't want this shit getting on your pillow. It's not going to look good tomorrow. Well, I don't know. When I was a teenager, I would deliberately sleep in my eyeliner and like second day smudged look, whatever. But that's like not sanitary either. It's not good for you to leave makeup on your face overnight and your eyes. Yeah, not good. So anyway, it's the very definition of temporary art is makeup. Thank you so much, Kentucky Conjure, for your $5 super chat. It says no note or super chat, just heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. That brings us up to $15. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Let's do it this way. Treasure chest. Just a reminder to everybody that the super chats, YouTube takes like 30% of your money, and I don't get the donation until next month. But if you donate directly through my website, luxander.net/donate, it's only PayPal. So PayPal takes a transaction fee and I get the money like tomorrow. So that's just for your reference. I know you've been on enough tea, but I was wondering what dose you started out with. I'm pretty sure I started out on like, I think it was like okay. I want to say it was 1 milliliter intramuscular every 2 weeks of 200 milligrams per liter strength testosterone. That is not medical advice, and it was a fucking decade ago. Like literally it was 2015. So I think that's what it was. And you're on pump anyway, so yeah. Send me a pic, Mephi. Yeah, Quantum does. Yeah, there was that one guy from Calling It Now who was like, who is this female? Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. That, yeah. I just hadn't said anything for such a long time. And then for me to interject, I think he genuinely just forgot that there was another person there. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Who is this female? Jimmy was like, are you going to be okay if I, like, is it okay if I put this at a YouTube short? And I was like, I don't care. Like, yes, that was funny. Do it. I don't give a shit. There's been a couple times where Jimmy's like, is this okay? And I'm like, yeah, like it's funny and I'm here to make money. So like, I don't really give a shit. As long as it's funny. All for the bit. Do it for the bit. Mephi says, transphobes have basically a hat with the same 10 insults that they just pull out randomly, whether or not they even apply. People will say, I can see your stubble when I've had laser hair removal and don't grow any dark facial hair anymore. Yeah, I've seen that before. I mean, and it's never more obvious than when that thing that Mia Moore used to do all the time, where she would post like an older photo of a famous woman, like, a picture from the 90s of Sigourney Weaver or something. and people trying to pick apart the appearance of these famous cisgender women. Ooh, I can see your chin, and like, ooh, your hands are huge or whatever. Obviously quite silly. I was streaming a game the other day and some random dude came into chat, told me I looked like Vosh, then said he would look for me on To Catch a Predator. Some people are just super antisocial. What the fuck? Oh no. Tell me why I just had to unsub and then resub to jump in the chat. YouTube has been a little bit glitchy, honestly, recently. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm sorry that that was an inconvenience for you. I appreciate I know you had to sit there and wait a minute before you could chat too. So thank you. That's just to dissuade people from harassing me. Sometimes people still do. They will subscribe and then harass me in the chat. And that's part of the conversation that we have is like, you really sat there for 1 full minute contemplating how you were going to harass this stranger on the internet. You really subscribed and sat there for 1 full minute going, yeah, like, so that's part of the conversation that we have when that happens. Sorry you had to sit there and resub and wait a minute though. I thought tea all works the same way, sorta. It just depends on like the dosage, right? Like how much of it is like, is your body absorbing it well through the method that you're doing it? Is your blood level showing that you're in the appropriate range for the target range that you're aiming for? Are you achieving the results that you're looking for? Are you receiving too much of the result? Like you were saying, you don't want to get like pimples and stuff. It may be that you just need to increase some of your other skincare stuff. Like maybe if you're not doing a retinol, maybe it's time for you to start. YouTube said something about kid-only mode. I'm in my 40s. So I have like verified my identity through YouTube in a way that has me, like, I have not struggled with this. But if you did not know, okay, so here's me doing announcements on behalf of YouTube if you didn't know. YouTube has implemented a new mode called restricted mode, and I can actually show it to you real fast. Okay. So on here, this is, if you click your little thing in the corner when you log into the YouTube. I don't know how it works on mobile. I haven't looked at it, but on the computer, pull this down. This thing down here says restricted mode off. You can turn it on or off. Helps hide potentially mature videos. Now, YouTube has said that there will be times where they guess based on your activity that you might have an account that's being used by someone who's under the age of 18 or whatever. In which case they will automatically turn on restricted mode. And you may need to provide an ID in order for them to turn it back off. So if you're stuck in kid-only mode, then maybe you need to double check that setting. Hi, pretty baby. Yeah? Oh my god, I need to get him a collar so that I can put this lavalier mic on him. Makeup pick scent. Yes. Streamers on Twitch often have people follow for 10 minutes because trolls don't delay their gratification very well. Well, I don't want the barrier to be so high that we never get any fun trolls in the chat, Occasionally. Been having issues getting good levels on my estrogen for a while. Happy to say I'm finally in target range now that I'm on Cypian 8. Hell yes, I've heard that that is the case for lots of people. What's up, Ember? Good boy, you baby. Okay, he's actually really chill right now. 10 minutes means you only get the really committed trolls. True. That's so true. What was I about to go look up? I was about to go look something up. Oh yeah, I was gonna look at Mephi's. Mephi sent me a picture. No troll, only safe space. You're like a person who puts your face on the internet, right? You don't mind if I show off your makeup? Because that's cool looking. It said that the video where I clicked subscribe was set to kid friendly. I've been subbed for at least a year, so I couldn't even tell you what video it was. Oh, weird. On one of my videos? Because I have explicitly not set any of my shit to kid friendly. Okay, this is Mephi's eye makeup at the Renaissance Fair. That's pretty cool. Oh, I did learn something also today. So I told you guys that I was trying to use this fucking eyeliner pen and all the trouble I was running into. Well, some of the trouble that I was running into. So on account of I have hooded eyes, you know, and like, so there's this like part of my eyes that the eyeliner touches. And so it was sticking together. And so I kept having to like very gently grab my mascara covered eyelashes and like peel my eyelashes apart or my eyelids apart. If you take a very light dusting of a neutral shade of eyeshadow and you just go, it fixes that problem. You're welcome. Boy, I was struggling for a minute. I was like, Google, please help me. What do I do? Makeup is hard. It's hard, you guys. What's with Hatsune Miku being such a mutual point of interest for trans girls and women? I have no idea. It's music, right? Hatsune Miku, I don't even know what it is, really. I know I've heard the words Hatsune Miku. I know that that has something to do with trans girls, but I think it's music. Kentucky Conjure says, Lux, what are your thoughts about SCOTUS looking at same-sex marriage next month? Low-key, I'm worried. Partner and I have been together almost 11 years and still aren't officially married because of shit like this. Yeah, I mean, not... I don't know. Like, every single time I think something is going to go down a certain way, it has gone the other way, or like something else has happened that I don't feel like I was able to predict. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I guess my impulse is like probably they're going to say states' rights and nullify legal marriage protections. So I'm like, fucking, that's my guess. I don't know though. We'll see. Fucking, we'll find out. Just made udon noodles with mushrooms and radishes. Ooh, I was just thinking. I make stir fry a couple times a month usually. But lately I've been like pretty much only doing rice with it, but I could do noodles and I have done noodles like lo mein. I've done it before and I could do it. I would think of it. I would do it and then put it in there and be like, nom 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 noodles. I did like a nice oyster sauce based stir fry last night actually. It was yummy. Senator Lankford out of Oklahoma is backing the reversal of marriage equality. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fucking great. We love that. Kay Luna tells us Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid, a character designed by a studio that uses voice banks to let people make music using the voice to do vocals. There is no singular Hatsune Miku artist, but it is done by fans. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, it's a way for girls to express themselves before they can express themselves as girls. That's kind of why. That's probably why. It's like a VTuber, but like accessible, right? I think most of the trans person stereotypes are just niche online community things that get latched onto and leak out to wider culture. I do kind of think the internet was a mistake in this way. Where, like, there was a caller during our big long stream yesterday who was like, neopronouns, do they make the trans movement look bad? And, like, he was like, I talk to people in my real life sometimes who bring this up, and I'm like, genuinely, I didn't say it, but part of my answer to that question is like, well, I guess no, I did say, like, tell these people not to care about what teenagers are doing on Tumblr, right? Like, this is not really a problem in like anyone's work environment, professional environment. Like, no one's really pushing this except in that context of kind of like online or like niche small friend groups. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was wondering what you were talking about, Guzman. Okay, chat's back. Don't forget, everybody, when we get to the stream goal of $100, I stream twice a week. If we get to the stream goal twice a week, that's $200 a week, which I feel like, I feel like I live in a blue state where it's fucking expensive now. So it'd be cool if we could get to that goal. And we will open the treasure chest, which is right over there. Do you see right here the treasure chest? We will open it. The all trans people are communist stereotype, though. Well, okay, I mean, that's not even true either. There are Nazis who are trans. Like, we're clearly not all leftists. I would say the majority probably of trans people are like liberals, right? Probably the majority of them. Probably a strong second place contender is going to be like people who are further to the left and hate liberals. But I mean, yeah, we cannot possibly say like the stereotype of trans people being communists is true. Like, obviously, that's a very online take as well. Is there some way to spooky up the background? I feel like a couple times people have mentioned recently, like, oh, I love, Dr. Ben's background and stuff. And I'm like, this is not set up in a way that I can change the decor often and easily. I have had setups like that in the past that I've ultimately ended up not liking very much. Or, I don't know. So now we kind of have a thing that stays more or less static. But I don't know. Do I need to put like a wreath here for like a seasonal changing wreath right behind my head? And then maybe I can be like, that'll be like, the halo in Christian art where it's just like a big fucking circle behind somebody's head. Ooh, that could be fun. Ooh, actually. That could be fun. I think that would be cute. Goral. Thank you, Kentucky Conjure, for another $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. That brings us up to $20 for today. Although, so far, all of the $20 have been through super chats, which I will not get until the end of November. It still counts towards today's goal, though. Make some paper pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns that you just tape up. True. Your eyeliner hits. Thank you. I'm trying new things. Do neopronouns make the trans community look bad? No, moving on. Yeah, basically what I said to him was that, like, every argument that I've heard people use against neopronouns or against xenogenders has just been an argument that is used against trans people more broadly, just with the goalpost moved slightly. So like any argument that people can make about neopronouns, it's like they've just shrunk the group of acceptable trans people. Like there is such a thing as an acceptable trans person to someone who's against neopronouns. Usually, they're like, oh, I think that trans women should be called she, her, but I don't like neopronouns. And it's like, okay, but why? And then every answer they give for not liking neopronouns is the same reason that another person would say, I will not use a trans woman's pronouns. So just don't really find it like very compelling, TBH. Yeah, Kathy sounding off in the chat. I'm trans and socially liberal, but not a communist, not even close to a communist. See? I respect it. I mean, I don't like liberalism, but like, I think being socially liberal is good. Better than the alternative, probably. The Halo idea is awesome. You should totes do it. And it could be easily swapped out or season flips to hell yeah. I mean, I actually do have a wreath in my kitchen that I switch out decorations for throughout the year. I have basically like several seasonal stations in my house. Although when fall time comes around, it's more like everywhere that I can put stuff, there is something seasonal. So yeah, basically I have some small things that I switch out. I'll put like corn, like a little tiny corn cob on there during this time of year, or, crochet a little tiny leaf or something. So I could have like a little, I mean, actually, I think I could get away with having a pretty big seasonal wreath here. It's just going to be at an angle is the only thing, because the wall is at an angle. So yeah, but I guess like, I don't know. I kind of want to be over here, a little bit more over here than I usually am. Yeah. During streams like this, I want to be more over here, which doesn't put me quite centered up against that thing. How many really know what communism is? I do kind of think that communism is a way of life that people kind of have a hard time understanding. But that's, I think, because it sort of requires an amount of degrowth. So, okay, I want to be clear that my understanding of all these things is not based on having really read much theory. I have read some Kropotkin, but not a lot because it's pretty dry and I agree with everything he says. So it's kind of like not really getting a lot out of it. Every time I'm reading Kropotkin, I'm just imagining if I read it aloud to someone for like a YouTube channel or something. I don't know. It's very weird. But so most of this is just kind of based on feeling it out and looking for examples of how this would work. I think the strongest example of communism that I've ever seen is in the TV show The Last of Us, season 1 and 2, I guess. Both of them have it. Season 1, I guess. And I see the appeal of it. It isn't necessarily like, I don't see how you could do communism without like a pretty serious form of degrowth. Like, I guess I see communism as being something that can only kind of spontaneously emerge after there's a broader collapse. I am not entirely sure. I'm a trans person who wholly rejects liberalism for anarcho-communism. Thank you for shouting out, Jane. Kropotkin boils down to, we solved food. What the fuck are we toiling for? Dude, it was like, it's great. Like, oh, I don't, is he not in here? No, my Kropotkin is not on my shelf in here. It's in the other room. Kropotkin, like, there's just so many things that he says. And you're like, this book was written in fucking 1892. Really? Like, okay, actually, let me double check myself. It was originally written in French, I think, and then it was translated. But what year was Conquest of Bread originally published? Fucking 1892. Got him. Just a oddly specific thing to remember. Anyway, it was originally published in fucking 1892, and for you to read back, and like, of course, the language is a little bit different. It was translated like 7 years later or something. But to go back and be like, okay, so some of the things about the language feel a little bit different, but the simple fact that you are describing the same fucking problems, it's weird because it feels good to feel connected in time to your ancestors, but also it feels real bad. Just real bad. Like, uh-oh, nothing got better. And in fact, things have gotten much worse since 1892. It's tough. It's super tough. It's difficult. Just gotta keep rationalizing it. So yeah, I think socialism is probably something that people can probably like imagine more than communism, and that would require much less of a dramatic shift. Like I said, I think communism is what will have to naturally happen when there's a global economic collapse. So that's just like a natural like thing that's going to have to happen. Whereas I think like hold on, there's insane shit happening outside. I didn't realize when I moved here that there was going to be insane fucking loud noises outside just on a regular basis, but that's something I have to deal with. So, anyway, what was I? Uh where was I? Oh no, degrowth. Yeah. So I think that socialism is a societal arrangement that probably will be more like what people think of when they think of like a transition state. Where like we basically, I think in socialism, we would functionally still have the same type of governing system. Like maybe we would have a parliament instead of a congress or whatever. I don't fucking know, but like it would functionally still be a representative democracy of some type. And I mean, maybe decentralized. Like maybe this balkanizes. I don't know. Balkanizes is not the right word because it necessarily implies some amount of conflict. But I'm not necessarily implying conflict, but rather just like an acknowledgement that smaller governments can accomplish more. And so, like, the sort of breakdown of larger systems of control because they're not tenable at that scale during a severe economic collapse. Um, but socialism would be something more like a transition model where it's like, okay, we still have a market, we still have probably not Walmart, but like we still probably will have like a co-op where people can sell their belongings or like sell their products, I should say. And we have like a stronger social safety net and probably like a stronger system that's resistant to certain things that liberalism is, uniquely open to exploitation by fascists and things. So yeah, I think socialism is probably something that's easier for folks to imagine because it still has a lot of the same components. It's basically just like if we took our current system and turned the dial way down on corporate autonomy and control, and maybe even eliminated it completely, and then turned the dial way up on like social services and providing for people's general needs, and probably still focusing on more of a local level, like on how to improve people's lives and stuff like that. But just like socialism is basically the same thing that we're doing now, but like actually shifting the priority model off of profit and then kind of continuing everything else business as usual, I guess. I mean, we hope that there would be still a process of like, let's figure out what to do instead of sending police to every mental health struggle and everything like that, blah, blah, blah. The economic system is not the only problem, is what I'm trying to say. But like I said, socialism, probably easier to imagine than something like communism or anarchism because they just like, I don't know how you have communism without extreme degrowth from the system that we have now. Hello, Drea. Still waking up here a bit late. Ooh, nice. It's good to sleep in on a Sunday sometimes. Shakespeare says T-girl, humanist, socialist, secularist, and I dig collectivism more as a societal adaptation to scarcity of resources over communism. Fine lines of distinction. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what collectivism would be as like a. Are you just saying like the principle of collectivism, and you're not referring to like a formal theory of societal arrangement? Like if we just operate on a principle of collectivism, that's different than like a society where you live on a commune. Kitsuneko, hello. So we were just talking about fucking Hatsune Miku, and like your name reminded me of that. But I know Kitsune also just means fox, so that threw me for a loop for a second. What potato are we overcoming, and is it being mashed, boiled, or stewed? The last stream that I did, I was wearing a robe, and like I didn't make myself look cute or anything, and I was like, I'm potato today. Today is potato. So today is I'm overcoming the potato, which was me last time, who didn't want to be cute, who didn't feel like performing really, actually. Did I miss something, Nadia? Nadia says Weimar Solutions to Weimar Problems is advocating for holocausting trans people. The right has more in store than outlawing gay marriage. Did someone say something? Weimar Solutions to Weimar Problems? I missed that. Are we planning our Musing Moss Ranch for introverts? Not yet. I did so our best friend, or like one of our best friends, is moving up here, and he is also like the one person I know who I'm like, I can guarantee that if we established a really tight contract, we could buy land with this person. I trust him so much. So maybe we are beginning the beginnings of the eventual homestead commune thing. I don't fucking know. I also would like to try to get Arden to move up here, but I don't know if I'm going to convince her to do that. Even with good friends, you need a tight contract. I want to be clear about that. If you're buying property together, you're entering into a pretty serious arrangement with someone, and you need to have like a pretty tight contract. What if my buddy dies, but he's dating someone, you know? Like, does she get in on it? Like, no. Apparently, Dobbs' concurrence advocated overturning all substantive due process decisions, including Lawrence v. Texas, i.e., the recriminalization of sodomy. Yep, we're not surprised by that. Oh, Tucker Carlson said Weimar Solutions for Weimar Problems. I thought that Tucker Carlson was one of the guys who was like, hey, Trump, you're being kind of insane right now. Okay. This is what you get when you stop paying attention. I'm like learning things during stream and going, what the fuck? We all need to jump onto the Arden for Oregon 2026. Okay. Unironically, genuinely, earnestly, I say this with my full chest. If you subscribe to the Patreon for Call the Line, patreon.com/call the line, you will increase the likelihood that Arden will be able to move. I don't think Arden herself has a or actually she's an hourly employee. She still gets points through the point system though, I think, from when she hosts and stuff. Like it still matters when she hosts and stuff. I don't know. But listen, if you support the line, then that's how Arden gets paid. And the more Arden gets paid, the more she can afford to move up here. So, big brain. Jane says, I believe... Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. I want to read a couple things. Communism to me is a society in which resources are distributed and allocated on needs of the collective from those that have the ability and are decided by everyone alive. I believe in the communization theory in which we go directly from liberal capitalist society to libertarian communism. I mean, like, again, so because I have looked into the research that indicates that the economy is capital G going to collapse very soon, so I do kind of think like that's probably what's going to happen, is that like broader structures of support are going to fail and localities are going to have to, like, maybe we make it out of this with like state governments. Maybe we make it out of this with governments that are the size of like one or two states combined or something. But I do think that by necessity, in order to account for people's local needs, we will need to start like focusing much more locally and creating systems of mutual support where somebody who can produce this thing trades with somebody who can produce this thing, and like, oh, nobody's seen the old lady who lives down the street, we need to send a team up there to go see if she's okay and make, bring her dinner for the week or whatever. It's just going to necessarily happen that way. Oh my gosh, are we getting so close to 100 likes on the stream? Oh, I wasn't even looking. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody coming in and hitting like. Even if you don't want to hang out for a long time, you can chill for just as long as you want. But hit the like button before you go. I'd say we should focus exclusively local. I am not going to tell people what to do. I think that we should have a lot of focus on local, but I don't think that that's it. Like, I'm not going to try to advocate that you shouldn't care about, like, or that you shouldn't vote, or that you shouldn't be informed on, like, your state, or sorry, your, like, US senator or whatever. Like, you should still care about those things to some extent, probably. But as far as like what you spend the most of your time thinking about and what you spend the most of your effort doing, I do think support local, even if it's just okay. It's no longer the right time of year for this. I don't know. Some places there are indoor year-round farmers markets. I discovered, but like stuff like that, like buy local. You know, if there obviously there's some products that you basically just have to order on Amazon, and I'm not going to criticize you for doing that. What I will say is, if you can switch out something, like, you know, if you usually buy eggs from Walmart, well, it's probably not going to cost you much more to get eggs locally from somebody who probably has too many eggs, maybe for the same price, maybe for a little bit more expensive, but they're going to last longer, because usually when people have their own chickens, they don't wash the eggs when they sell them. So you'll just get like unwashed eggs. So you need to wash them before you actually go use them, but they last longer because the protective shell is still on them, the protective like membrane, and they probably are going to be higher quality. And that's just one choice. That is one choice that you can make. It's like you're spending roughly the same amount of money, but if you just place that money in your local economy, then guess what? That person that you know locally can buy more chicken food. Maybe they can even afford to get a new batch of chicks and expand their egg production. And it's probably never going to get beyond a certain place. Like, this is what's good about farming local, is that they're probably never going to get to like a big production, right? But that's what we want. We want to buy our eggs from people who only have like 10 chickens, so that we know that each one of those chickens is getting scritches and is getting special treats and has a nice amount of space in the backyard and all this kind of shit. You know, that's what we want. So if you can make that one choice, then boom, you're supporting the local economy. You're supporting your local agriculture against coming climate change. The more money they have, the more they can protect their animals from heat. The more they can like build nicer buildings for them and shit like that. So that's one decision you can make. And just think small like that. What's one decision you can make that's going to help you shift into a local kind of mindset? Most communistic parties, according to Solomon, think that there will be a transitional period of socialism of about 200 years before communism will be established. I don't know how much those communistic parties know about like the data that shows that the economy is about to fall the fuck apart, but I don't really see how we could have a socialist state at the current scale, at least, that we have a state. Like, I just don't see how it could happen. I'm not advocating for one thing or another, to be clear. Like, I'm just observing and seeing like, okay, well, it kind of seems like shit's about to fall apart and we're going to have to figure out how to make it through that situation. Mephi says, I think America may be in store for something worse than balkanization, Britanization, becoming a once dominant global empire that is ultimately irrelevant despite never formally stopping their rhetoric and ambitions. Yeah, fair enough. Faulty Branches says, becoming known as a person people can go to for something, no matter what it is, builds a support network for things. Working on something as a hobby can expand to small support or barter situations, or even a job if the skill is needed enough. I've been trying to be the dude with tools for people around me so they don't have to buy and learn tools for one-off things. Yeah, so along with the guy who is moving up here, my partner and I have been talking about, I don't remember what the word is. There's a keyword that I would need to figure out for a place where you can go. And it's like a building where they have tools, like carpentry tools and stuff, and you pay like a monthly membership fee in order to go there and be able to use the tools and like probably not leave your own shit there, but like you can come in and use the stuff and then take your shit and leave. So I don't remember what that's called, but there was one. I think there were a couple actually. I was looking just like in the Portland area, and I think there were at least a couple of those. But I can't remember the fucking search term anymore now. But that's the kind of thing where, yeah, I think going and Makerspace. Yes, thank you. Makerspace. So becoming a member of something like that where you are in a place where you can learn from others and you can teach others things. Like I think one of the maker spaces I was looking at actually had a fiber arts thing as well. So I could, as a crochet person, go there and just like have conversation and community with people who do the same things. Ali, welcome to the website. Thank you so much for coming on over from the line. I've been having a lot of fun on the line recently. So it's great to see so many folks who like me enough to come over here and join over here because, you know, I like having a successful YouTube channel doing my own thing and refusing to talk about politics a lot of the time. Mostly what we do over here is I begrudgingly get sucked into talking about politics even if I don't want to. It's not too bad, actually. I'm having fun today. I'm having fun. I'm also totally willing to cut the stream a little bit short because, like, I have to work on Sunday evenings now, and sometimes we don't want to stream for 4 hours and then hang out and produce for somebody else's 3-hour stream. Is it Forrest tonight? Oh my god, who is it tonight? Oh my god. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my god. Okay. So tonight it's Forrest and Paul. Okay. I think that could be a good show. I hope that Forrest is just like exhausted from last night and doesn't want to do or all day yesterday. I hope that he just doesn't want to do a very long show. I'm going to make money regardless, but still I just don't want to be on there for 12 billion hours. I hosted for them for 6.5 hours yesterday. I'm curious what the government would look like if we formed Cascadia. I feel like that's as big as a government. Okay, so we've talked about this before, the idea of Cascadia. Boom, we had 101 likes on the stream. Thank you so much. I would love to hit $100 in donations on today's stream, hopefully through my website, luxstandard.net/donate. But I am appreciating all the likes. That's a quick, easy, free way for you to support the show. Fuck yes. Anyway, what was I about to say? Cascadia. So I do kind of feel like Cascadia is the idea that like Washington, Oregon, and California will just become a country. Like if the United States government happens to collapse completely of its own volition, or if Trump has decided that he's going to liquidate the government, like in the way that people will take over a company and then liquidate the company. Like, you know how Joann's just got bought out and then they sold all the shit and then they closed the company. So that might happen. Maybe they're doing that on purpose. I don't know. But if the United States government is to stop functioning, like can the Western states kind of get together and create a government? I feel like that's the biggest a government maybe should be. That's covering a lot of land. We do have a lot of common interests because we are all on the coast. We are all potentially going to be affected by wildfires and earthquakes. We would have a very strong economy. Like Cascadia would be an incredibly strong economy because California is already one of the biggest GDPs in the world and generates plenty of money in tax revenue. So, you know, we've got like all these rural areas of Washington and Oregon, which I think would be well supported by California's existing kind of government. Now, the question is, do we remain Washington, Oregon, and California? Or do we say, let's not have these borders, let's just have one kind of cohesive thing? I think probably that would be best if we had kind of one cohesive government for the whole of Cascadia, but also lots of, I don't know, I feel like lots of local focus on stuff too, but I don't want to say like, let's go completely hands off and give like too much autonomy to local, because if we give too much autonomy to the local, then there are parts of like rural Washington and Oregon that will do fucked up things to their gay kids and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. Focusing only on local doesn't scale, though. We're far past the carrying capacity that conventional agriculture enables, so saying that it's the only solution is accepting the starvation of millions. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Graham Cracker. It's like, yeah, I guess. So we are way past the point of no return on. Okay, so I want to be clear. When I'm talking about the incoming economic collapse,
Shiloh has
okay,
donated $20.
part of that
Let's all move
includes.
to the
So, like, we
PNW.
are.
Make Cascadia inevitable.
Oh, there was a donation? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I talked over it the whole time. Thank you so much, Shiloh, for the $20 dono. Let's all move to the PNW. Make Cascadia inevitable. True. It's like Thanos. Make it inevitable. Appreciate that. That's $20 that I will receive tomorrow. Hell yeah. $40 total today. Treasure chest. We will open the treasure chest when we get to $100. If we get to $100. So spooky. Bum, bum, bum. So anyway, yeah, the incoming global collapse. The projections that we are on track for, these projections were made in 1972. It's 50 years later, and we are on track for the predictions that are going to continue forward into the future, with probably like 5 billion people are going to die in the global south. And we are legitimately past the point of no return. That is pretty much just going to happen. I mean, the rest of the world is kind of doing better than we are about climate change stuff. But if the United States doesn't get on board, then yeah, we are basically just like barreling down the train tracks toward like a global population collapse. And so, yes, I guess it is a privileged position, and I'm not arguing that it is a privilege that I was like, I'm going to move somewhere that is going to be climate stable, and I'm going to produce food if I need to, or I'm going to support people near me who produce food. And that was my response to being like, oh, the fucking global economy is going to collapse. So yeah, of course it doesn't scale. Like, of course me looking locally is a way of like turning my eye away from those people. I can't do anything to help that. The Oregon-Washington border has caused political and economic problems for Portland and Vancouver. Splitting cities is dumb. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And it's crazy how often that happens, too. Like, I'm from Kansas City, another city that sprawls across a state boundary. Call it the Giga Famine. True. There is a library of things being made in conjunction with multiple orgs. Yeah, the local library system in the Willamette Valley they have tool libraries, which is cool. It's not quite the same as a makerspace where you can, well, first of all, a makerspace you pay for, but also it's a space that you can go to so that you have a place to use your tools. Because obviously, if you like live in an apartment or otherwise a rental, if you don't have a place to use the power tool that you've just borrowed, then what good is it going to really do you, Minnesota is statistically fast becoming the trans capital of the world. The amount of refugees and transplants in the past 2 years has surpassed all projections. I think it's probably because Minnesota just seems much more affordable than someplace on the West Coast or even on the East Coast. So I don't find that terribly surprising. It's cool. I'm glad. I do worry a lot about you guys being isolated out there. Like, part of the reason why I thought West Coast, because like you've got California, Oregon, and Washington all together. But it's like New Mexico is a pretty progressive state, but it's disconnected in a way that's like, how can we support them? How can we help them if we have like a red state fully in the way, in the form of Arizona? And so, yeah, that's kind of like a struggle that I've had. I guess, is Minnesota contiguous at all with Illinois? I don't think you are. I'm fucking failing my geography memorization right now. Yeah, no, you do not border Illinois. Minnesota borders Wisconsin. Is Wisconsin fucking progressive enough? Like, Illinois is out here surrounded by a bunch of red shit, and Minnesota is out here surrounded by a bunch of... yeah, I think Michigan is more progressive than Wisconsin. I don't fucking know what Wisconsin's deal is. Can't remember anything of note about Wisconsin, TBH. We live in New Mexico, and I love the trans community here. Yeah, I love that. Well, okay, so I guess Colorado and New Mexico, those two are right next to each other. You guys could be like a state. You could, group together, potentially. But I just worry so much. Yeah, like, y'all are, like, any states in the middle, y'all are just, like, surrounded by red states. And that spooks me, But we'll see. I mean, I also kind of wonder when we say Cascadia if we are going to like necessarily lose some of the land out to the east, which wouldn't be wouldn't be a loss. In the same way that red states receive a lot more federal funding than they pay in, and blue states pay a lot more taxes than they take in from the federal government. I don't really feel like we would be losing much if basically everything to the east of the Cascades range was like, we want to be part of Idaho. Like, okay, have fun. Cool. We will have our functional economy to the west of the Cascades. Enjoy. Oh my gosh, I completely, again, ignored this and talked over it the whole time. I don't have my volume turned up loud enough to hear donations coming in. Thank you, Allie, for the $20 dono, who says, if this isn't intrusive, can I ask how it pronouns fit you best? I am trans myself and have lately sort of felt like woman or she, her doesn't fit me entirely. Thank you so much for the dono. That's quite appreciated. Let me add it to the goal dono thingy over here. That's $60. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out and for donating and hitting the like button and stuff. So I use its pronouns because I like being a weirdo. So basically, I feel like they, them is kind of becoming its own sort of stereotype. I don't mind it as much now. For a bit, I was feeling kind of claustrophobic about it, but I feel like less weird about it now. But they, them, I feel like it was developing into its own sort of gender stereotype, where they is like someone who is assigned female, who's transmasculine, who has short hair, who wears a button down with a colorful print on it and glasses and stuff. And I just kind of felt like alienated from that. I am more of like, oops, hold on. Nope, there's nothing on my eyeball right there. I'm more of like an alternative style person, or like, I don't know, something kind of like a forest witch is kind of how I imagine my vibe. Or like goth adjacent kind of, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm comfortable at, is like, I like wearing black and I like wearing fishnets and I like, shit like that. So my gender presentation, I feel, falls into a space that is more... Ooh, yeah. Thank you. That I would call is like, I would say it's more alternative or something, and like its pronouns fits that aesthetic, and it fits the gender feelings that I have, where I feel kind of fundamentally alienated from gender. I don't feel like I have a third gender. I feel like I just kind of don't give a shit, and I don't understand why people care so much about it. I feel like it's a playground more so than it's anything that you should be defined by. I am kind of a gender anarchist. I identify as a gender under the non-binary flag. Like, I don't, I'm not like, ooh, I'm a demi boy or anything. Like, I identify as a gender, no gender. Yeah, so for all those reasons, also I'm autistic, so that might be part of why I like the non-human its pronouns. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Moth, for the $5 donation, who says, what we need is GitHub for basic machine plans. Imagine every library has a 3D printer slash sintering machine dedicated to making machines that make things. Potentially, yeah, that would be cool. I know that lots of libraries do now have 3D printers, but I don't know if they have 3D printers that are capable of outputting like an industrial level quality of shit. But thank you so much for that $5 donation. I really think that that's an interesting thought. Brings us to 65 for today. Thank you to everybody who's donating on my website because I will receive that money tomorrow. And thank you to everybody who's donating through Super Chats. I will receive that money at Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is soon, you guys. Have you thought about that? Thanksgiving? Oh my god. Sorry, my back hurts, so I'm kind of just trying to stretch. Oh man, it's so crunchy. Everything is so crunchy. Ugh. Agenda represent true. Why is it that every time Lux starts talking about itself, I feel called out? Well, stop it. This is a call out. Knock it off. Stop it. I just like to threaten to smack you guys on the nose with my fan. It's like a newspaper. I'm like, I will whap you. This is so useful to have at my desk, too. I sprayed setting spray on myself earlier, and I was like, And let me tell you, setting spray does not help at all with the whole eyeliner sticks to itself problem. You gotta do the eyeshadow trick. Maybe eyeshadow and then setting spray? Probably. Later, Meffy. Have a good day. Thanksgiving was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, in Canada, it was a couple weeks ago. In the United States, it is usually like it's like the last Thursday or the second to last Thursday of the month. Something like that. I think this year it's like... that's October. Yeah, I think this year it's the last Thursday of the month. I think it's the 27th. November 27. So my buddy is going to be moving here the first week of November. So that's, I mean, basically like a week and a half from now, my buddy's going to arrive here and we're going to do Friendsgiving. And I'm excited! I've never done Friendsgiving. Wait, is there a way to stop eyeshadow from coming off? It's called setting spray. Stay all day. What does it say? Micro setting mist. Setting spray. That's how you keep your eyeshadow from blurring or falling off or whatever. That's how it works. Also primer. If you don't use primer also, where is it? So before eyeshadow. Before eyeshadow. Primer. Primer. Okay? Then put on your makeup. When you are finished, then setting spray. Get porn star makeup? What comprises porn star makeup? I have never really thought about this before. I have an interview for a postdoc position on Wednesday. Given how short supply those are right now, it's fingers crossed. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm imagining it's going to be highly competitive, so good luck. Hope things go well for you. Wishing you all the best. But it's cool that you got an opportunity. Like, you just got your doctorate. Or sorry, you just got your PhD recently. I've got very queer D&D starting soon. Can you call K Luna gay for me? Kitsuneko says you're gay, K Luna. Hope you guys have fun at Queer D&D. My younger sibling has just started Queer D&D with some of their friends, and I'm very happy for them. I'm like, that's a good social development. Even though it still doesn't require leaving the house. I'm like, okay, well, at least you're talking to friends, like, and you're going to have a weekly hangout. That's cool. Thank you, Solomon Kane, for the $11.99 in euros, I think, coffee for the evening. Well, next month. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll add that to the Dono Gold. Brings us up to 77. I'm just going to call it $77 US, even though it's It's probably not exactly, but whatever. Treasure chest. We only have $23 left, and I will open the treasure chest, and we will find out what's inside. Buanana, 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 buanana. Buanana. I would have fun doing D&D. I joined a group to do they were going to do a Stardew Valley based D&D, and I only played a couple sessions, and I was like, I don't really think this is for me. And also they wanted to start at 7 p.m. on like Tuesdays. And so when you start D&D, you have to just kind of assume that the first 30 minutes are just going to be dicking around. So we wouldn't even get started playing the game until almost 8 p.m. And then, like, what, you're going to play for 3 or 4 hours? So my younger siblings group is starting at like 8 a.m. for us, of course, and we're on the Pacific Coast. So usually 8 a.m. for us is a normal like 10 a.m. for most of the other people in the group. Yeah, so that's what I would want to do. If I'm going to play D&D, girl, I'm going to do it in the morning. Morning and early afternoon. If it's not queer, is it even D&D? True. Could be a good opportunity, but it's a position that was initially hit with NIH cuts and had funding restored less than a week before the application deadline. And being frank, it's a perfect fit for my resume. Hey, fingers crossed for you. You get the job and also that it stays funded. Problem with morning is you are stuck to weekends. I mean, yeah, no, I know. They're doing, I think the kiddo is doing like Sundays, basically like today. And I was like, hey, that works because I'm working that day anyway. So it's not like if you did it on Saturday, we wouldn't be able to hang out as a family, really. This tea is delicious. I'm always so happy drinking this tea. I need to get back into DMing after the fog of this past year. I got super into the Mothership system, which has been super easy for players to get into if the setting isn't off-putting. That sounds cool. My partner would really like to DM. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe we have enough friends. We have enough friends now. So we know a couple who live up here. That's like my partner made friends at work and then her boyfriend or whatever. So we have those two people. We've got myself. So if my partner went to DM, that's me, the couple that we know, my friend who's moving up here, that's enough people. We don't even need my younger sibling to be part of that. We could play fucking D&D. Is the announcement that you're planning to turn your Sunday stream into a D&D campaign? Fuck no. No, especially not with my younger sibling. Like, I feel like it's exploitative to use them in content. Like, even though they're an adult now, they're still a teenager who is vulnerable and I'm trying to help them. So no, in that particular situation. I think I just saw that Ash Hardell has like, maybe this is not, I don't know, maybe it's unkind for me to draw attention to it on this platform, but I think that Ash Hardell just like revamped their YouTube channel and is going to do a D&D thing. No, they started a new channel, or maybe they turned the second channel into... Yeah, man, maybe they converted one of their other channels because it already has 114,000 subscribers. But yeah, this is them doing like, I guess like a D&D podcast. So that's cool. That's exciting. I love that. How can we organize communism if we can't even organize weekly D&D sessions? Listen, okay, I mean, but okay, like I must assume you say that in jest, because obviously the reason why we struggle to organize weekly D&D sessions is because of capitalism. So many of us are like, well, I have to work this night, so I can't do that night. Or like, oh, I don't have someone who can watch my kids this day or whatever. Like, it's always something related to capitalism and like the structures that keep us isolated from one another. So, under communism, it would be much easier. Did someone earlier said, please don't start a commune? That's the greatest way to get like a target on your back from the government. But I'm not even trying to start a formal commune. I just want to like own some land with some friends and it be our private land to make mutual decisions about and like otherwise continue to go to work and pay taxes normally. I don't know if that counts as communism. Like, am I going to get a target on my back because me, my husband, and our best friend decide to buy some land together? I've been watching Ash do D&D. They look very happy. Yeah. It kind of seems like things are going pretty well for them in general. Like, hard to say for somebody who's completely fucking offline most of the time. I guess that's my gauge. If someone seems like they're completely fucking offline, I'm like, you seem like you're doing well. If someone has to miss a week of D&D, I will organize a one-shot so that everyone else can still hang out and gives people FOMO if they do miss. Yeah. Like, well, you missed it. Well, we still hung out. We didn't further the narrative that we're all working together. We just did a one-off, but still, we hung out without you. That's mean. Yeah, as a human being, I already have a target on my back. True. Mothership has an alien film vibe where you are very squishy. You are very squishy people against potentially xenomorph or worse threats while just trying to get by. Super fun, though, not for everyone. That reminds me that I need to get back into playing Carrion. You play as the horrible alien thing in Carrion it's a Steam game or something. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to a certain point with it where I was like, I could not figure out how to get over some obstacle. And now I do not know how to play the game anymore. So I think I would have to start it all the way over if I got back into it. Thank you, Alistair, who gave us a $10 super chat. Just wanted to drop this here on the way out. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody with the super chats today. That's quite nice. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. That brings us up to $87. $87. Thank you so much. Ooh, homie, I'm about to get my first paycheck that has any producer money on it. Like, y'all know I'm producing for the line now. And I get paid... we get paid once a month, kind of in concert with the money coming in from YouTube AdSense. So basically, at this time of month, I get my YouTube ad payout, and then a few days later, Jimmy does the payroll and sends paychecks out. So yeah, I am gonna get. It's not a full month of production. I only started producing like the last 2 weeks of September, but so it'll be half a month of production plus all of my hosting that I did. Ooh, thank you. So anyway, I'm hoping I get paid pretty well this week, which means that it's okay that donations are slow or only coming through super chats, which I don't get until Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Domestic, for the $13, which pushes us up to 100. Let me get the number go up. Burr. Oh, my brow is just showing there. Not that I really care that much, but I try to keep it a little tasteful, only a little slutty. Only a little slutty. Less overtly slutty. Okay, y'all want to open the treasure chest. Y'all want to know what's in the treasure chest. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Woo! We are pomp and circumstance. Everybody remember graduation? Wasn't that fun? Okay. What's in there? Higher donations get the bra slip. True. Like, anyway, okay. What's in the box? Treasure chest. Oh my god, who the fuck is talking to me? Please tell me that's not something that I actually need to care about for work. Is it just Arden? Okay, yes, people do want me to respond to a work thing. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Okay, what's in here? Well, oh, it looks mostly empty. Oh, except oh. It's this bitch. Oh, come on now. Ah! This is a mimic. This box wants to eat me. This is my tarot deck that hates me. So we're gonna draw a card from the tarot deck that fucking hates me. Let me put this over here. She fucking hates me. Trust, she fucking hates me. La 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 la. I tried too hard that she stole my feelings like I had none. I don't fucking know the words to the song. Anyway. That's what the plan is today. I'm going to do a read. I'm going to do a 1-card pull from this deck that fucking does not like me. She's always so bitchy. Like, this deck always has something to say. She's always got something. You put the deck that hates you in the box that hates you. Yeah, they are combining their powers. Box contains a box full of slightly box-shaped objects. I could do that. Okay, she hates me. La 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 la, she fucking hates me. My deck has nothing but sass for me as well. I have another deck. My first deck that I got, my friend got for me. And that deck, listen, sometimes she has some harsh truths, but she's not like a bitch. This deck is constantly giving me trouble. She's like, bitch, I don't like you. I'm like, okay, fine. But let's just do a single card pull. We'll figure out who this is for. Okay. I like the back of this deck. It's cute. Good Halloween decor. Okay. Okay, we have the 4 of coins, or pentacles, depending on what your deck is. So this is what this guy looks like. The 4 of coins in the upright position. This has to do with saving money, security, conservation, scarcity, control, frugality. I think that this is a positive interpretation of this card. Yeah. So this is a decent, this is an okay card. I think this is a great card for me to have just pulled after talking about my job and like getting paid more. Because this is basically kind of saying that like, if you're careful with your money, you will be able to save money, I think is kind of what it's saying, right? Let me pull, actually, sometimes I like to pull the explain it to me pages out for this other tarot deck. Obviously, I don't actually believe in anything with tarot. It's just fun. So don't get your panties in a twist over it. 4 of coins. The 4 of coins indicates a desire for stability and control. Oh, this says you have not been as intentional as you had hoped, and you feel inclined to scale back your spending to conserve your resources. Okay, actually, that's true. I spent a lot of money on my credit card this past month. Though you are in a good place, the primary motivator for your fiscal behavior seems to be fear. This suggests miserly habits. You are neglecting opportunities to invest in things that will bring you joy. You may be keeping your own best assets locked away from the world. Okay, so that's also true. There's like money that I should be spending right now that I don't want to spend because I have been spending money that I don't have. I was kind of like, oh, I'm anticipating that I'm about to be making more money. So I've been less responsible with my credit cards. But it's gonna be manageable, but it's just like, yeah, it was not the best choice, and then now I'm being a little bit more frugal as a result. But I'm doing things like, I need a new light. Do you see this big fucking light? The reflection of this big fucking light? I need a different light. And so that's maybe like a necessary spending that I'm not 100% willing to do right now, and maybe I should just go ahead and pull the trigger on it. I don't know. When I get my big boy paycheck from producing, I'll get some. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you everybody for helping me open the box. She wasn't too mean. She was accurate. Best assets locked away from the world. It says after we joke about bra slips. You know what's funny is like I actually did just recently ask my partner about that. I was like, so I can't post my boobies? And he was like, it would not be my first choice. So yeah, unfortunately, you don't get to see the tibbies. You get to see a little revealing bra. You know, my little red bra down there. You can see that, but no, you cannot see the full tibbies. I got my nipples pierced, and that's only for my partner to enjoy. 122 likes, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everybody has been so kind today. Also, I'm perpetually 14 years old. True. Where do you put your camera? Is that on a tripod? No. It's a stand that's connected to my desk. So it's like a C-clamp. You know how a clamp connects to the side of your desk and then it comes up, and then there's an attachment where this one kind of goes like this. And so that's where my camera is. Card in a box inside a box tells us to put things in boxes. Mother of God. Mother of God. I wonder if I'm going to get paid tomorrow, or if it's not going to be until Tuesday. These are the questions. I guess I shamed my tarot deck into giving out a reasonable card this time. She can't be too mean on camera. She's been mean on camera before. Oh my god, my lips are so dry. There's like the urge to pick at them. And I should probably just go ahead and put Aquaphor on. Okay, we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna take my little break. I don't know how much longer stream is gonna be. Maybe even only to the end of the hour. But I'm gonna take my break anyway and rest my voice. Go to the bathroom, refill my water. I'll give you some music to listen to. Maybe we'll go not Jazz Dog this time. What if we did something else this time? Ooh, yeah, let's do these. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Just barely missed it. All right. Every other musician is just jazz dog in a trench coat. True. I was just diagnosed with bipolar depression. Anybody got advice? Boy, howdy. Trust, if your doctor puts you on a medication, trust that it will work for you if you give it enough time. When you start to feel better, don't stop taking your medicine. That's the only advice I have for bipolar. I don't really know a lot about it. Mm. Need to stick some tasty teas in the box soon. I haven't gotten any new teas for a while. I've been coasting on the teas that I have. Although I am basically out of my jasmine green tea, I was thinking I was just gonna like try to hit up the Asian market and see if they had any good jasmine teas rather than like I don't necessarily want to order the same tea from the place that I got it at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival. They have a website, but I would kind of rather get something like local. I mean, the Asian market might not be a local product, but I want to support local businesses anyway. Dally, I guess, is giving the advice for the bipolar depression is be careful of your sleep schedule and caffeine levels. It wouldn't be a Lux stream without tea talk. What you don't know is that this is at least the second time that Drea has tried to push tea talk during this stream. I just didn't read her comment before, like an hour ago when she brought up tea, or 30 minutes or whenever that was. But Trinket says, do not be shy about telling your doctor if the depression is getting worse. Yes, true. Dally says, my friend says that their sleep is a huge help or hindrance depending on the quality of it. Yeah, I'm really thinking about how to improve my sleep quality. Like maybe it's time for me to try out a more expensive pillow. I don't really know. I would love to get a new mattress, although my plan when we get a new mattress is to get either, I don't know, maybe I might actually have to talk to my partner about pulling the trigger on this sooner than later, because he was kind of like, I don't want to move a king size bed, or I'm thinking either king size or California king. I'm more like a California king because I think that a queen bed and a king are the same length top to bottom, and it's wider, yeah, but it's like, and so I would kind of prefer a California. Hold on, let me just fucking pull this up so that I don't have to explain it to you. Bed sizes including California king. Oh no, Quantum Chaos says, I was replacing a broken exterior handle on my car door, and the latch that connects to the actual cable that unlatches the door snapped. My $10 to save $150 plan just blew up in my face. No. Oh gosh. Okay, let me see if I can find this. I want to see it in like simple format. Oh my god, not this. Can you just make this easy for me? Okay. So honestly, like, I don't even need all of the things on here. So let's just zoom fucking all the way into here. So, okay, a twin, this is a twin, okay? A full is the same length as a twin, but it's wider, okay? So they're both 75 inches. Now, when you upgrade from a full to a queen, that's when you get the extra 5 inches of length. You get 5 inches of length. And, oh wait, hold on. This doesn't even have, wait, I think Eastern King is the, okay. Eastern King is what we typically just call a king bed. So a queen is 80 inches long, so it's longer than the full, and it's a little bit wider than the full, so it's a little bit bigger on all dimensions. Now, when you get to a regular king-size bed, which this is what most people think about when you think of a king-size bed, it is the same length top to bottom, but it is wider by fucking 16 whole inches. Good gracious. It's almost 1.5 feet wider. Okay, and then a California king is in between the width of these two. So it's wider than a queen, but it's not as wide as a regular king, but it is longer. And so I'm kind of prone to us, like I'm kind of, or not prone, I'm kind of, I feel warmly toward the idea of a longer bed. But my partner has said like he's not interested in trying to get a king size mattress in and out of our rental. And I'm like, yeah, but if we're planning on living here until we buy a house, which could be like 5 years, I need a new fucking bed. I need a new bed before 5 years from now. I did think like, oh, we could at least get rid of our mattress topper and get a cooling mattress topper, because we do have a memory foam mattress topper, and memory foam is hot. It retains a lot of heat. So I was like, maybe I will get a latex mattress topper, but I don't think that's going to really solve the problem, because one of the primary problems is that my partner has restless legs, and it's a hybrid mattress that's like a box spring with a memory foam part attached to it, and then also a memory foam topper. But yeah, so all of the movement just transfers. It is the worst. Moth says, I got a purple bed and I love it, but Jesus fucking Christ, is it heavy? I would like to get a Casper mattress, I think. Casper seems like it's what I would enjoy. But yes, it's going to be heavy, and so it is going to be difficult to move it. But modern mattresses come with handles attached to the mattress. And if I have to pay someone to move it into the house when we move into a house, then so fucking be it. you know, so be it. Faulty Branches says, as someone with a psychotic disorder, consistency is overall the most helpful thing I've seen, whether it's medication, daily routines, therapy, work, etc. Cool. Oh, the Verna Bean said, loose leaf tea is the best. I bought a teapot and a strainer. Yes, I have a clear teapot for those blooming teas. It does have an insert, so I can just put regular loose leaf tea in there, but I have a tiny little strainer for my individual cups of tea, and that's pretty great. Also, I have been brewing my tea more than once, and that's quite enjoyable. Purple bed sounds cool. Purple is the brand. Do you ever see those? It's like an advertisement where like it's like a waffle kind of design looking thing, and it's like purple waffle in the middle of the bed. That's what the Purple brand is. Some days I think about going full Japanese futon, where you sleep on the floor and then store your bed in a closet. You know, if I had a closet that had enough space. Yeah, I guess it does. It takes up a lot of space when you just have like a platform that's for sleeping on. I have a nice tall bed frame, so we can fit plenty of boxes and shit underneath there. So that's the other thing. If I were to buy a whole new mattress, I would have to also buy a new bed frame if I bought a bigger mattress. We got a bed frame that is like kind of extra tall. And then so with our mattress, we don't have the box spring thing underneath our spring mattress. Like we don't have the box thing, but it's our mattress and then our pillow topper on top of a bed frame that is more than a foot up off the floor. And especially because we were just sleeping with the mattress directly on the floor previously. But it's so tall. Like I have to climb up into my bed. And it's also a really good height for sex. And that's all I'll say about that. My brother built a bed frame that raises up into the wall. Is so cool watching the bed disappear. I do like those like closets, or not closets, but like, yeah, the bed is like down and then it kind of like just whoop disappears. That's cool. Interesting design. But then I don't have I don't have all the space underneath the bed for storage. And I value that because we have a lot of shit. We have a lot of stuff that just has to exist in boxes because we don't have a garage to work on any of those projects. So. apparently people enjoyed, well, they enjoyed well enough. I posted a call with some analysis. That video did okay. It's got about 2,000 views, which is fine. So I guess I'll just continue to do that for a while. I'll maybe even this afternoon, I'll look at if there's any more, like what other clips that I have been on for the last couple of months that would make a good, like, let me, respond to this or analyze it a little bit. Having sex? L. True. Yep, such an L. I have no space under my bed, and my bed doesn't raise into the wall. 0 out of 10. Yeah. Transforming rooms with sliding furniture are cool AF if you're single, but it's a lot more cumbersome if you have a partner. True. Yeah, if I had if I could have like a, maybe not, yeah, like a twin XL, somebody said earlier, that's a little bit longer than a twin. So if I just had a twin XL bed that I could fold up into a wall or something, that's different than feeling like you need, I feel like a queen bed for 2 people is too small. That's way too small. I mean, maybe like my partner has much longer limbs than usual, which is probably true. But still, a queen size bed for 2 people is crazy. And then y'all are talking about having your animals in there with you? No, that's crazy. So you're working with like at minimum a queen bed. And for a lot of people, that's not quite enough space. And yeah, it's like, what was it? It was 60 inches long. Or no. Yeah. 60 inches long. I closed the tab already. I don't have it open anymore. So, for the beds. Oh, this is just playing. I didn't know that. Close that. Don't need the US maps anymore. Oh my gosh. I have to do producing for the line today. That's crazy. Not getting enough days off. And I was going to text Arden and be like, hey, is there anything that you need to not do this week? Do you need me to take something off your plate this week? Although I have been working so much for this month of October. I probably need to like pull back and have better boundaries. But I was like, I'm 100% doing that thing where I'm like, I'm stressed and therefore I'm diving into my work because I feel worthy when I'm productive. And I'm also like, hey, I really would like to make a lot of money, please. So the more work I do, the more money I make. It's funny how that works out. So I'm definitely pushing myself a little bit in that regard. Definitely tired. Dali says the best sleep I got in my whole life was a Queen Sealy Posturepedic. Somehow I forgot that I needed to get a Posturepedic the other year when I bought a new bed, and I bought a cheap Cairo bed, which was horrible. Oh, that's terrible. Sounds like you should end early and take some time to relax. Probably. I'll quit early, but in a little bit. Arden sounded fed up last night. She needs a weekend for sure, but y'all are doing a ton of streaming. She had a migraine by the end of the stream last night, so that was like, she literally had a physical problem by the end of the stream. I need to text her. I don't have a hair clip at my desk right now, but I did just watch a video of a real doctor, a board certified doctor, talking about this trick and how it actually works. So if you have a hair clip, like one of these, the claw, if you have a claw clipper like this for your hair, and it goes like, and the teeth all fit together like that, it's a little plastic thing. You can take that and put it on your face like here. And apparently this works to alleviate the symptoms of a migraine because, sorry, I just dug my fingers into my forehead a little bit. Because there's a nerve running through here that has something to do with migraines. And so apparently if you just take one of those hair claw clips and just go and like just put it on your eyebrow, it confuses your brain and it makes the pain from the migraine dissipate somewhat while the thing is on there. So that's a little fun fact from me to you. I'm going to go, I have a claw clip I keep in my shower. I'm going to go put it on my face and take a picture for Arden and be like, let me know if this works the next time you get a migraine. Oh. I don't get migraines very often. So like the next time I get a migraine, I'll try it out. While not great for couples, sleeping in a hammock has given me some of the best sleep I've ever had. I would fucking love to have a hammock on our property. Like if I eventually can own some property, like even just a yard, I do think a hammock would be a great thing to have. I haven't gotten into a hammock since I was a kid, like a little kid. I mean, like maybe 10 years old, but boy, it's been a while. BRB, giving myself a migraine to try this. Later, banana. I haven't really had a serious migraine since I had FFS and somewhat damaged the right forehead nerve. Yeah, man, whatever works. I don't know why that's so funny to me. That's pretty funny though. Oh my goodness. What else have I got going on this week? What else is fun this week? Um, I guess I'm curious. What's my schedule like for the next couple days? So tonight I have Forrest and Paul on the After Dark show, and then tomorrow I've got John Gleason and Paul. Okay, so I get Paul 2 days in a row. I feel like I need to text people early now and be like, hey, just so you know you're on. Because Owen didn't know that he was on 2 days in a row. Like, he was a little bit late when he came on with Forrest for After Dark show last week, because he was like, oh, I thought I was on Skep Talk tomorrow. I was like, yeah, you are also on Skep Talk tomorrow. Sleeping out in your hammock in the front yard surrounded by empty beer cans and a partially stripped down lawnmower. Fair enough. On the other hand, touching my forehead wigs me out, so I guess trade-offs. Does it give you, do you have like weird nerve sensations in your forehead after FFS? Oh, that's a bummer. Difficult if you're trying to put on makeup or anything. Okay, so, oh my gosh, yeah, it's a full week for me. So I have Forrest and Paul tonight, John and Paul tomorrow, Jude Gum with Alyssa and Taylor on Tuesday, and then I will be on Takis on Thursday with Josie. And in addition to that, I'm also doing Calling It Now afterwards. So, y'all, I'm gonna fucking not do anything on Friday this week, because I'm not doing anything for the line on Wednesday, but that is my day to stream again. So I'm supposed to stream on Wednesday. Yeah, it's gonna be a full week, y'all. Ooh, your boy is working overtime. Oh, that felt good. I got a weird little pop in my back, and it felt good. Ooh. My forehead sometimes feels like a cross between being tickled and being electrocuted when I brush up against it. I feel like the only... Okay, so and this is just me. This is just me. I feel like the solution to that problem is to massage it a lot. I can't tell you what to do because you're going to feel whatever, but like I had a lot of weird nerve feelings. So you can maybe see this like lump on my finger here. I sliced my finger and like this is the scar itself goes the scar itself starts down here and goes up this way a little bit around. And this entire area was like not connected and needed to be put back on and like sewn down. So because it kind of like completely was a disconnected flap and it got sewn back on, my nerve regrowth process was really uncomfortable. It did not feel good. And I would like deliberately like do this, partially also because it softens your scars. So I was softening the scar tissue, but also kind of encouraging the nerves to calm the fuck down and like settle and just start to feel like, the whole finger and the cohesiveness and like this is where these nerves are and this is where they reconnect, because it's not even just physically the nerves reconnecting, it's also remapping in your brain where sensations are coming from. So like if it was me and if I ever get surgery in the future, I'm going to be like, as soon as I'm cleared to start doing those kinds of things, like I would be doing it. Because also as well, like I don't know how this works for other surgeries, but like I know with top surgery, it's good to massage the scars because sometimes like stuff can like fuse to the lower tissues. And so you might end up with really tight scars because it's like really thick scar tissue. So yeah, just like massaging them, getting some movement on them can be really good. And like with silicone Honestly, with like silicone lube, if you have silicone lube, silicone, or other silicone based products that are like good for your skin, that helps soften your shit too. A hammock with a tarp over it, hidden back in the woods somewhere, is so cozy. You feel wrapped up like a burrito, can listen to the rain hitting the tarp, and don't have to crawl out of a tent to get up. I love that. Like a sort of like a makeshift tent situation just around your hammock. Ugh, you're giving me ideas, but you're also making me really desire um something I cannot have right now. I do not have a place where I could put up a hammock right now, and it's sad. Sad, sad, sad. It's interesting that nerves can reconnect like that at all. I had always heard that nerves just stop growing, and that's why nerve damage is so permanent and harmful. They do grow kind of in weird ways, but I mean, I have seen some pretty astounding, like, even like reversal of brain damage. So it kind of seems like nerves are a lot more plastic than we've previously given them credit for, although, of course, they are still going to be running into certain limitations. But I just think the field of neurobiology is more interesting than people, sometimes give it credit for. Or like it's that it's, it's not a settled field, I guess, is kind of what I'm trying to say. That like we don't have all of the answers yet. Like when I was trying to tell my partner about how like when you get genital surgery, particularly like phalloplasty, they take this donor skin from the arm because along with that are like these big nerves that run along the arm, and they can take one out and use that to hook it up to like the erogenous nerve system in the genital area. And my partner was basically like kind of dubious of the idea that the phallus itself could ever have its own form of sensation. And it's like, yeah, well, it's like fucking literally like micro neurosurgery. It's a pretty niche field that, and maybe it's counterintuitive to what we currently know medically. But I know of a lot of cases, and also I'm pretty sure that there are case studies about it, of like the extent of sensation that there can have in the neophallus itself. Not like, oh, I touch somewhere else and I think I can feel it in the neophallus. Or it's like, yeah, like you touch the neophallus and like a sensation happens, and maybe it fires off in a way that the brain can't make sense of, but like that there is a nerve system that can process temperature and like sensation, like touch, deep sensation, and light sensation. So yeah, I mean, it's just like a lot more interesting and complex than we used to know. Brain damage tends to be permanent, but the brain is highly adaptable and can often work around said damage. Yeah, I guess saying reversal of brain damage is not correct. So I appreciate the clarification on that. Yeah, that the brain can adapt in ways that seem to like, circumvent previous brain damage, or like to allow a person to continue to do something they used to be able to do in spite of the brain damage, like that they've found a new adaptive way of the nerves working together in order to accomplish the goal of like walking again or whatever. That's crazy. Would it feel like your arm in a completely different position? I don't think so. Because it is like a nerve that's connected down there. So it basically like, it has the same level of touch sensation that your arm does. Like this, if you think this part of your body is kind of sensitive to like light touch. So it has that sensation, but I think at first when things are reconnecting, all of those sensations are referred. Like you might touch the penis, but feel it, what feels like in a weird place, like inside your groin. Like it's different for everybody, but it's something that, again, it's about brain remapping, like the nerves in my finger. Like I can touch it and I know where I'm touching it, and it doesn't feel like painful or too sensitive because I touched it a bunch and it's part of my finger. So as I travel my finger across, like my brain knows, okay, I'm touching right there. That's next to this part of my nerves that weren't damaged, and it's like part of my finger. So it's a process of, as the nerves reattach, regrow, Like you have to create a new sort of brain body map where you're like, okay, when I touch, like I see it, I'm touching there and it feels like this. And like how precise that feeling gets depends on how well you heal. Anyway, phalloplasty is a fascinating topic. After getting a tattoo here on your arm, I could see that nerve working for that purpose. It has a very unique and difficult sensation to deal with. Yeah. And they connect it to the erogenous nerve system. So it's here's this very sensitive nerve skin here. And then you put that and use the nerve to wire it up directly to, it's not like to the clitoris, it's to a nerve system inside the groin. But yeah, it's fucking incredible, right? Like that's crazy that we can do that. Hot wiring your junk, literally. Human bodies doing crazy shit. Biohack your dick. I'm in. True. I mean, that's the goal of getting a dick, right? You're trying to get in. Thanks. Thanks for sex jokes with Luxander Hour. This sponsored by you. Sponsored by viewers like you. Yeah, I don't have terrible bottom dysphoria or anything right now. So my bottom dysphoria is less about what I have and more about what I don't have. So it can be easy to ignore sometimes. But then I say things like, I just don't even like to masturbate. And then I'm like, uh-oh. It's like, you know, if I think about like, oh, if I had a dick though, I would do all kinds of weird shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun to think about. And then I'm like, oh, the reason why I'm not psyched to masturbate is because I don't have a dick. Cool. That's great. Anyway. Anybody have $40,000? Also, can someone make the decision for me on whether I am going to use my uterus to have a baby? Because I don't really think I can do that after I've had phalloplasty. It's got to be one first and then the other one later. I have a full sleeve on my forearm, and that area is covered with a big, shaggy ink cap mushroom now. Cute! I would kind of love to get some kind of mushroom tattoo, but I do not know what that would look like. I don't have a plan. I think my only plan right now is I have a tattoo up here that I would like to get covered up, and I want to get like some sunflowers in that place instead of what I have currently. Do surrogacy to pay for phalloplasty? No. What? No. That sounds terrible. The point is, should I have a baby of my own? Yeah, it would be great to no longer have bottom dysphoria. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't it be nice if we had the correct genitals? Oh no. It would be funny though. I guess doing surrogacy to pay for my fallow. That's terrible. That's a movie waiting to happen though. My teeth hurt. Why are you applying for this surgery? So I can crank it like never before. Fucking true. I'm gonna have to be serious and be like, I have sexual dysfunction. I can't orgasm. Or something. Like, I'm gonna have to, like, it's gonna be stupid. Approved. I'm gonna crank it like never before. Stamp, boom, approved. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, gosh. I've been having a fun time, you guys. It's been good. I feel like, you know, my work-life balance is, I'm obviously working a lot right now, but it feels like productive, you know, like I'm accomplishing something. The sequel to Amelia Perez. Yeah. Ooh, look at this. I'm so close to getting up to 38,000. Do you think I don't know. I got to look at the projections. What's the projections on me getting to 40,000? Social Blade. I keep waiting for magic to return to the world so I can learn to body change. True. I want to hit 40,000. I have wanted to hit 40,000 for such a long fucking time. Excuse me. Ah! Okay, Social Blade. Where's my future projections? There we go. Okay. So the projected subscriber growth for Luxander is showing that I will finally get to 40,000 in 2027. Okay. Well, I'm not going to get myself wait. Yeah. So at current growth, it's getting toward the end of 2026. Then all of 2027. At the end of 2027, I will have 39,256. And then I will hit 40,000, apparently, August 27th of 2027. So that's a bummer. I was hoping to hit it sooner than that. I have 2,000 subscribers to go, though, so help me find 2,000 of my closest friends. I wish magic was real so I could shapeshift has got to be an archetypal trans experience. Truly. It's there's that joke of like, ask a trans girl what she wishes her superpower was at the beginning of transition versus 3 years in. At the beginning of transition, she'll say shapeshifting, and 3 years into transition, she'll say teleportation. Because of you're dating a bunch of other trans girls long distance thing. But anyway, yeah, shapeshifter. That would be legit. I would enjoy that. You can do it. I believe in you, Lux. Thank you, Quantum Chaos. I was just like, could I say something insane like, let's hit 40,000 by the end of this year, which is only 2 months from now. And this is the time of year where like views start to go down toward the end of December. So I really doubt it. Can we get 1,000 subscribers through the month of November and then another 1,000 subs through the month of December? I don't think so, but that would be cool. Let's get to 40,000. The Ranma 1/2 fantasy. True. Just splash some water on myself. I didn't actually read very much Ranma, but I probably should. Probably worth it. Oh my god, that tea is delicious. Yummy. No, Quantum Chaos. No. That's naughty. If I don't get 2,000 new subscribers who want to watch my content, what's the point? It's like, I don't want just like 2,000 more subscribers for the sake of it. It's got to be 2,000 subscribers who are also like, I love you. And you have such a cool community. And I want to watch all of your videos when you upload them. You know? That's what you got to go for. After this stream, I'm going to brew a pot of peppermint tea. Ooh! That sounds good. I'm thinking about doing my second run of this, like my second brew of this black tea. Because I did like 4.5 grams of loose leaf tea for this big old fucking cup. And I want to, like I said, I think I like the second brew better. So I want to try to have that before it gets too much later today. I might even still have some trouble sleeping if I drink a cup of tea at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but you know. Today is a chai day. Ooh, chai. Thank you, Shakespeare. The community here is good. I need to check up on Naomi. I haven't checked on her in a couple days. The end of last week just kind of became a blur to me. I like had my days off and they just kind of like, I just completely fucking tuned out the whole world. No caffeine for me after 2 p.m. Nothing but herbal tea. Hard rule. Yeah, I was thinking that I would like to start doing herbal teas after stream because, like, my voice is tired. But my tea steeper has this other tea in it from earlier, and I don't want to like dump it. I can't, dude. What if I get so snobby with my tea that I have 2 tea strainers, and I do have 2 of them right now. 2 tea strainers, and one of them has like my black tea that I already brewed once, and the other one has like a herbal tea that I've already brewed once. Like, ooh, I'm about to get my second brew. Like, for which one? I don't know. That's silly. But like, if I left the black tea in there right now and made an herbal tea, the herbal tea maybe can't do 2 steeps. Might be different on that. I don't know. I feel bad for y'all who get kept up by caffeine. Black tea at 1 a.m. is great. Yeah, no, sometimes, I don't know. It's not always a caffeine thing. I guess sometimes I will just fucking lay there for hours and rotate my body every 5 minutes for no good reason whatsoever. But caffeine does make that happen more often. Wait until you have specific mugs for each tea. Oh no. Like, oh, this is the one that's already stained from my black tea. Oh man, Dally says a friend gifted me a card to my tea company, and another friend gifted me an Advent tea calendar. Not sipping down my stash anytime soon. Hell yeah. The Verna Bean says caffeine doesn't keep me up, it just gives me mind-bendingly bad nightmares. Sounds awful. Yes, that's great, Shakespeare. Final verifications this week hopefully work out. I'm so close to being housed in November. Yes. And not a moment too soon. I told Naomi that she should check out the queer housing assistance program there in Baltimore, and she I think she said she was going to. I haven't checked up on her since then, so I'll have to check in on her and make sure she's still she's still in the motel, hopefully. I think I shared a pic of my Tranarchy mug a while back. The inside is almost solid brown now, and it can't be removed. No! Oh, no. I think you could hypothetically get it out with bleach, or maybe the bleach would just stain the brown a different color. Did you ever post the GoFundMe for Naomi? You mentioned it last time. I don't think she ever sent me the link to her GoFundMe. I need to check up on her. There, I sent her a message checking in. So if she has any updates for me, I will let you guys know in the Discord later. Caffeine used to make me sleepy, and then a neurologist had me go cold turkey in college. So not happy with the results. Did you find out that you just can't drink caffeine or something? Ganglemint recommends scrubbing the stained tea mug with salt. Maybe salt and, I don't know. You got to be careful though, because the inside is painted, and you don't want to like take off the paint with an abrasive. I discovered that I need something in green tea for me to find it enjoyable. Getting some fruity green tea lets me enjoy having green tea. I'm a huge fan of jasmine green tea, specifically. It's so fucking good. Just absolutely delicious. Okay, we're at the 3-hour mark. My voice is tired. I have to fucking do producing for Forrest and Paul later tonight, and I need to probably do some dishes before then too. So let me get out of here and get some things accomplished for my afternoon. And I appreciate y'all hanging out. I appreciate y'all being here. I thank you for donating. Thanks for hitting the like button. Mugs aren't painted with a paint. It's a ceramic glaze that is usually kiln fired. Okay, I'll take your word for it. But still, you might not want to use an abrasive. You'll just have to make that choice. But anyway, I'm going to go make some more tea and rest my little voice. And I'm planning to see you all on Wednesday. If I am super duper duper tired on Wednesday, I reserve the right to not stream. So we'll see what happens. Love y'all. See you later.